We will be beginning caucus. So if everyone could have a seat down, and I would love for someone to call the roll and say who is here from staff.
Adams, Anane, Ballerin, Brody,
Present.
Farrell,
Here.
Flynn,
Here.
Hoey,
Present.
Johnson, Jones,
Present.
Keegan,
Here.
Lumpkin,
Present.
Powell,
Here.
Robinson,
Here.
Williamson,
Here.
Zamer.
Here.
13 present. We're also joined by Council President Kelly Kimbrough, City Clerk Shaniqua Jackson, Senior Assistant Corporation Counsel Martha Mahoney, Research Counsel Robert Wenner, Legislative Director Brian Jimenez, Junior Legislative Aide Carly Johnson.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So we will go through the agenda. This evening, you'll notice in the agenda, we have a section right after the Pledge of Allegiance that says communications from the mayor, department heads, and city officials. It's not a section of the agenda that we use that often, but tonight we will be using that, and the mayor will come to speak with us. I do believe that we are able to, I don't know that this is a situation where we will need to ask questions, but it's different from public comment in that it can be interactive. So if you have questions or anything like that, you are able to ask them. If the mayor is taking questions, that is entirely up to her. After that, we will be, I'll just mention we're taking it out of order so we can follow along, but we'll get to it later. We will be taking Councilmember Williamson's resolution honoring the African-American individuals from the city of Albany who have been inducted in the New York State Basketball Hall of Fame. So that will come after we discuss, after we hear from the mayor. Then we will have public comment. And then we will move on with the rest of our agenda. So in local laws introduced, we have Councilmember Ballerin's Local Law D of 2026, which will be go to Human Rights, Human Resources. In local laws held, we have Councilmember Hoey's Local Law B of 2026, a local law amending the senior citizens tax exemption that passed the Finance Assessment and Taxation. And Councilmember Hoey, would you like to say anything on that?
I'll talk when we come up to it. Thank you.
Excellent. So we'll be voting on that tonight. We'll also be voting on Councilmember Keegan's Local Law C of 2026, which is the local law amending Section 42263, salaries elected officers of the Code of the City of Albany in relation to adding a majority whip position. So we will, that passed through the last Finance Committee meeting. We'll be voting on that this evening. In ordinances introduced, we have Councilmember Ballerin's Ordinance 32226, an ordinance amending the Vehicles and Good Order of Part 2 of the Code of the City of Albany, and that will go to planning. In ordinances held, we have Councilmember Williamson's Ordinance 22126, which is a variance to Niagara Mohawk, that passed the Finance Committee. I believe that we got all of the necessary information on that. So we will be voting on that this evening. I'm going to next talk about Councilmember Williamson's resolution, but just a reminder, we'll be actually taking that out of order and voting on that after we speak with the mayor. But Councilmember Williamson, obviously you'll speak on the floor, but did you want to say anything briefly about the resolution now?
Good evening, everyone. This is an honor just to be here and also to recognize the men and women of color, the New York State Basketball Hall of Fame. It's just an honor. I'm excited. I'm excited for them. So the work that they put in, so I'm just happy to be there, just to be a part of it. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And when we do that out of order, that will be, sometimes we have people who actually come for the resolution. We will be welcoming, after we vote on the resolution, we'll welcome them in. So anybody that's here for it, we have copies of them. Councilmember Williamson has copies of them, and we will take a picture so we can all share it on social media and celebrate this wonderful, the amazing people in our city and this exciting event, and very much appreciate Councilmember Williamson bringing this forward. Under resolutions held, we have from me, Resolution 3/1226R, a resolution of the Common Council confirming the appointment of Miriam Dixon. That's something that we will be discharging from committee because just happenstance, there was some delays coming from Baltimore. We had some council members that were in Baltimore that got delayed out of their control. So instead, we just did the questioning at Caucus. So we still went through the same process, just with more people than we usually do. So we'll be discharging that from committee. That was something I think everybody was very pleased to speak with Ms. Dixon and was very impressed with her. And so we'll be voting on that tonight. We'll also be voting on Resolution 4/1226R, which is a resolution approving the transfer of budgeted funds and a change in the authorized positions included in the 2026 budget. That passed the Finance Assessment and Taxation Committee. We did get all information on that. That's the change in salary for the deputy mayor and I'm forgetting it off the top of my head, the assistant to the Commissioner of Administrative Services, the Deputy Commissioner of Administrative Services. Next, we have Resolution 5/1226R, a resolution of the Common Council approving a transfer of budgeted funds in the 2026 budget, which will affect a salary rate or salary total. That is I believe that is the separation of workforce development and parks commissioners. We've gotten all information on that, and we'll pass that this evening as well. Okay, we have a couple more minutes. So at our next Wednesday caucus, there are a few things happening. As many know, Alyssa moved on to a different position. She now works for Earth Justice, so she's taking her knowledge and doing some great things in the world, but this does leave us with an opening, and we thought in leadership that it actually would be a great idea if we had a discussion of council members on what supports they would like to have from staff, or if there's something different that we could look for before we posted this position. We have an opportunity to kind of tweak if we want something slightly different. We might, Richard Conti always wanted us to have somebody that had more budget experience to do more budget analysis. There's been a desire to have more communication side. We obviously cannot fill every role that we might need, and as a council, we still need to do our own personal things. But as a body, to have a discussion on what we're kind of hoping for from council member or from our staff, and if we should go out for the same position that is open, or if we should potentially look for a slightly different position. Thought that it was a worthwhile discussion to have. The request is that we have that discussion because that is also, there is an event that will be happening at City Hall that night that Councilmember Anane, do you want to talk about that briefly?
Yeah, thank you. This is a annual iftar dinner that typically done in conjunction with the mayor's office. We've done it previously, sometimes in the Empire Plaza, some we've done in City Hall. I know the time on the flyer is at 5:30, but we're going to start speaking engagements more so around 6:15 or 6:30 to allow other council members to be in attendance as well. Thank you.
So the goal is to have discussions, we obviously will go through the agenda, but also to have discussions about staff before that time, in case there are members that want to attend that dinner as well as caucus that evening. So if we can all think of it ahead of time, and you might not have any specific things that you're looking for from staff. You might say, I'm good with the way things are. That's fine too. You might be hoping for more communications, more analysis, whatever it is. And feel free to send it ahead of time. Probably Brian would be the best person to send it to if you have any feedback of something you're looking for, or something you would hope to have from staff. So we can kind of work that into either doing the same thing or potentially maybe shaking things up a little bit. So with that, does anybody have anything that they'd like to discuss? Councilmember Hoey?
Do we have minutes for this meeting? I don't.
I apologize. Yes, I forgot to mention the minutes. We do have minutes. We have minutes from the February 2nd, 2026 meeting. And we also have Commissioner of Deeds, which will be Councilmember Ballerin's first time doing the Commissioner of Deeds as majority leader. So it's a very important thing. So we will also have Commissioner of Deeds. Thank you, Councilmember Hoey. Anyone else? Okay, so we have yes, yeah. So we have 10 minutes until the meeting begins. We'll reconfirm in 10 minutes.
And then gave it to the majority leader I'm sure to you. Yeah, man. I mean, I just want to share it to you. I ain't going away. Okay. I heard earlier. I didn't tell me. What? They were gonna have the basketball. Yeah. Where's it? What's that? I heard earlier. Oh, I just. I gotta get back in the loop. I know I'm That's what she said. The next thing I know, I said that earlier this morning. Giving it to her. It's all good. We hired him for that. Yeah, he got to be the spokesman for it. Okay. I mean, that's how we got to look at it. Okay, yeah. I remember. This is where our credit is at. This is where our credit is at right here. What do you say? Nothing. They get all the credit. They just turn it over. Yes. I mean, I'm not going to say hi to Adrian Stanton. But yeah, so what time are you going to start? I went down to get my water up. It's at 7 o'clock, so I tried. It's 6:56. I don't have time to run and get my water. So I'll wait till they get started. Because I think they're going to have people just talk for a half hour. Then we'll go into meetings, right? We're going to talk from 7 to 7:30. People get like three minutes or something. They'll come up to speak. It's on Caucus. Caucus. We just had Caucus. There you go. Yeah, so we had Caucus. Yeah, Caucus at 6:30. And I think it's 7. So a half hour. People come up and do 3 minutes. And after that, we're going to go talking about the resolution. How was your birthday? It was all right. It was more. I was here for birthday. I was always for my birthday. Oh, okay. I left out that following morning. Just some. My daughter's got to tell something in person. I'm not sure. I'm gonna look, but I'm not sure who wanted to be on the back of it. He looks like the guy. But nobody canceled it. Nobody canceled it. We had a meeting at 5:30 today. But that was no, you nobody canceled because they backed off with the fire back in. We'll get rid of it. It's here. You said he wasn't in? Yeah, that's what I heard. That tells me you get them intimidated. Right. All our positions are elected positions. Why you can't do that? I don't know. I thought they were appointed pretty much. No. We had to vote them in, right? There's enough people that always said, yeah, they want to see they still go to the video, right? He doesn't point and say, hey, he's going to be on the board. That was it. That's a process. I guess the board will make that decision. I'm all new to this. Yeah, me too. I'm definitely new to this. I'm just weird how this is going. You're a liar, and you know that's a liar. I'm through you. Right. How could me be on the other side, trusting she's gonna make the right decision? But how you get? Did you get this?
Okay, can members take their seats? Okay, it's now 7 p.m. and we will begin the Thursday, February 19th meeting of the Albany Common Council. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Adams. Anani. Valorant.
Present.
Brody.
Present.
Farrell.
Here.
Flynn.
Here.
Hoey.
Present.
Johnson.
Present.
Jones.
Present.
Keegan.
Here.
Lumpkin.
Present.
Powell.
Here.
Robinson.
Here.
Williamson.
Here.
Zamer.
Here.
14 present, 1 absent.
Thank you. We have a quorum present. Okay, welcome everyone, and please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Are we good to go with Mayor Pleers? I don't see her in the space. Okay, with that, Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we take Resolution 12-22-26R out of order.
Can I get a second? All those in favor? Aye. Okay. Motion passes. Mr. Williamson.
Just make sure.
Thank you, Mr. President. Notice Resolution 12-2226R, we're asking for introduction as it passes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
A resolution of the Common Council honoring the African American individuals from the city of Albany who have been inducted into the New York State Basketball Hall of Fame.
Discussion? Mr. Williamson, we'll start.
Comment?
Yes, please. Yeah.
As I said earlier, it's just an honor just to recognize the men and women of color, the sacrifice that they went to. And one of the things that really is really dear to me is some of the young men and young ladies of color don't even know the history for the New York State Basketball Hall of Fame, that what they went through. So I'm just honored. I'm just, just to see them here, and also some of the ones who are not able to make it here, and the ones who has passed. But it's just an honor, and also I thank my colleagues as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Williamson. Further discussion, Mr. Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Growing up in the South End, basketball was everything to a lot of the honorees tonight. And growing up and watching them with a basketball, it was just something that a young kid, such as myself, we would run outside and we would see them dunk. We would see them participate, run up and down the court. And it was like a culture as a young child growing up, seeing a lot of these gentlemen play basketball on the courts where I was raised at. So I'm honored, just like my colleague said. I will also be placed as a co-sponsor on this bill, and just say congratulations, and it's well overdue. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Mr. Johnson?
Thank you, Mr. President. As young boys and girls start out in their pursuit of the game of basketball, everybody hopes to make it to the NBA and now the WNBA. But, the highest compliment is to make it to the Hall of Fame in Springfield. That doesn't happen for many people, but it is nice to be recognized for your effort. And as my colleague said, growing up, basketball was a big part of the city of Albany. Many nights, the gym at Albany High was packed, and a lot of the community was there supporting it. And, it's hard when you see where basketball is today, but, staying on tonight is important that we have a resolution like this, because there's many people that aren't here today to be a part of this celebration. So, for them, I want to say job well done. And it is an honor to be a part of a group that's being discussed today. And hopefully one day they'll have a place where boys and girls can go and see the stories of the individuals that you're going to hear about. So it is an honor to be a part of this, to recognize people for their accomplishments, because in a blink of an eye, it could all be forgotten. So history is, everybody's story that participated in this great game. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Anani?
Thank you, Mr. President, and I rise to congratulate Albany men of color, particularly who have been inducted into the New York State Basketball Hall of Fame. Like was said, being an all-star, being the best in your city, being the best in your town is a great accomplishment in itself. But going into the Hall of Fame is an exceptional accomplishment. As many of you know, I did grow up in Brooklyn, and I always wanted to play basketball. But when I turned 12 and I stopped growing, I had to look. That's funny, but that was not a joke. I focused on other sports and my academics, but it's exceptional. Just really from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank the families who sacrifice time to make sure that these individuals go to the Hall of Fame, their parents, the sacrifices that their parents and their families make, whether it's helping a kid become with AAU and then going to high school and then ultimately college. The sacrifice their families make is unbelievable. So I just want to thank the coaches. I want to thank the players and the parents. And this is a great recognition. I want to thank also Councilmember Williamson for bringing this to our attention. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Seeing none? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. Also, I just wanted to say that we have one female inducted in New York State Basketball Hall of Fame, Miss Cricket. It's phenomenal. She's the only woman of color inducted to New York State Basketball Hall of Fame. I'm so proud of her. I just wanted to say that. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Williamson. Yes. Yes. We're giving up. Thank you for that, Mr. Williamson. Madam Clerk, with that, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Adams.
Yep.
Mr. President, I believe we're all co-sponsors on this.
Okay, since we're all co-sponsors on it, we'll get a voice vote. All in favor? say
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Now,
If any of the people who are here from the Basketball Hall of Fame want to come in, we're going to take a picture, and I believe Mayor Fleers will be joining us too.
okay, back into our agenda. We're on to the portion with communications from Mayor. From the Mayor, we'll welcome Mayor Dr. Dorothy Fleers to the table. Uh-oh, no.
Councilman Hoey was trying to test my skills. I actually used to play basketball in middle school, which is hilarious. Thank you, Council President Kimbrough, and to the council leadership. Just really honored to walk in to the chambers and see so many members of the community here to honor and celebrate those who deserve honor and recognition. I would like to acknowledge Councilmember Williamson for having the vision and the heart to do this, the insight to acknowledge, I think, some of our unsung heroes, people who have really been consistent in the community but don't always get credit and recognition. So thank you for honoring and seeing fit to celebrate their leadership. It is It's been a wonderful Black History Month for the city of Albany. We've had, the council did an amazing job with Human Rights Commission, honoring so many people who do the great work, who never get recognized for all of their service to our city, and to continue the celebration tonight with honoring the members of our community, all who have been inducted into the New York State Basketball Hall of Fame. This has been such a wonderful celebration. And so I'll be brief, but just wanted to acknowledge the impact that each of you have had on our city, our state, in the region. Your service on the court has extended beyond the court. And each of you, I'm sure, have been pillars in our community, not just as figures who played basketball or dribbled the ball, but figures who show our young kids what's possible when you work hard, when you sacrifice, when you exercise a level of grit and determination. You all make it look easy. You've made it look easy. But to those who understand the discipline of any sport, it's never easy. You have to sacrifice time away from your family. You have to sacrifice and mentally get in the zone to achieve greatness. And each of you to be inducted in the Basketball Hall of Fame demonstrates that grit, that tenacity, that dedication, that sacrifice. And it's just an honor to be able to acknowledge your efforts today. You all are truly a part of our city's legacy. You're embedded in the DNA of the city of Albany. And tonight, we just uplift you, we uplift your families, we uplift the communities that you come from. And as the newest mayor, it's an honor to acknowledge you and celebrate you all tonight. So thank you for allowing me the opportunity to say a few words, and a hearty cheers and congratulations to all of our strong members of the community who have been inducted into the New York State Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yes, yes, hey, give it up again. Miles.
This will be in the mayor's office and will remain there my entire tenure, so thank you so much.
Okay, next on to our public comment period. We will open public comment to, we'll give folks 3 minutes to speak on any topic you wish. This is a part of the council meeting where council members receive comment from the public. It's not a conversation. It's council members won't be able to respond to you and your comments. They can later in the meeting if they wish to, but typically we just receive public comment here. So with that, I will, Madam Clerk, will you call the first speaker?
Yes, Donna Starks-Hillman.
Once seated, would like your name and address, and then you may begin.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much. My name is Donna Starks-Tillman. I'm here on behalf of my brother, Herb Bowen. Just a moment, please. Herb lived his life as a companion And today, the legacy is committed and forever. He didn't just play the game, he loved it, and he loved you all. Thank you for recognizing a legend. Good evening.
Thank you, ma'am.
Belinda Rosa.
Good evening, everyone. This is a special evening. Congratulations to all the inductees of the New York State Basketball Hall of Fame. It's an honor for me to be here this evening on behalf of one of my favorite cousins, Mr. Joe Roberts Jr. He couldn't be with us today. He resides in Atlanta, Georgia. So I was very honored when he called the other night and said, hey, you work at City Hall. Can you stand in for me? So I've been here all day, but it's an honor to do so. He did ask if I could share some words with the council members and also to Madam Mayor, Dr. Dorcia Pleers. He states, honoring the New York State Basketball Hall of Fame players, I sincerely regret that I am unable to attend the ceremony today. However, I would like to share a few words about my experience working with the City of Albany as a youth job developer. I also founded and directed the City of Albany Human Resource Basketball Clinic from 1973 to 1981. Working with Albany's youth brought me tremendous gratification and a deep sense of accomplishment. To this day, many Albanians still speak about the positive impact that the program has had on their lives. So now to be recognized by the city as a member of the Upstate New York Basketball Hall of Fame is truly one of the highest points of my life. I am deeply honored and grateful for this recognition. Thank you so much for this incredible honor, and God bless. Truly yours, Joe Roberts, Jr. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Cricket Thomas Odell.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Councilman Williamson, for doing this. This is truly an honor. And thank you to Mayor Pleers, who's already left. This recognition for all of the African-American inductees into the New York State Basketball Hall of Fame is something to be treasured for years to come. My name is Cricket Thomas Odell. I had the honor of being inducted into New York State Basketball Hall of Fame in April of 2024. When I received the phone call from Rennie LaRue that I had been selected as an inductee, my first thought was, yeah, no way, all right. Who's playing a joke on me? This isn't funny, but it was real. And to be told that I was being inducted because of my role as a basketball referee for the past 27 years is still truly humbling. You see, I grew up playing basketball in the south end of Albany, played at what was called Hackett Junior High School, went on to play at Albany High, go Falcons, and then went on to play in the collegiate level at Russell Sage College. I never in a million years thought that I would become a basketball referee. My husband has the same basketball background as I do, and when we had our daughter, she was blessed with inheriting our basketball skills as well, and went on to play at the collegiate level also. So, what does one do when they choose to no longer play basketball and when they cannot commit to coaching full-time? They become a referee. And so, for the past 27 years, whether it was a fourth grade girls basketball game, a high school game, a boys gym rat tournament, blowing the whistle has been a way to stay involved in a game that I love, to stay physically active, and most importantly, to promote fair play and to represent women of color on the basketball court. I've been fortunate over the years to have mentors in this referee world to help me navigate the sometimes challenging profession. Because let's be honest, Referees are yelled at. We're called names. We're told that we're incompetent. We're stepped to. We're cursed at. We're waited for in the parking lot. And in some cases, yeah, we've had water bottles thrown at us. I'm sure all of you have gone to your job and had these things happen to you as well, right? But fortunately, my fellow referees, such as Ricky Wilcox, has helped me to provide that mentorship to get through these challenging times. And there have been plenty of coaches, players, and families that have also made blowing the whistle as enjoyable as well. Being a referee and official is not for the faint of heart, and it requires a certain mental toughness. And it's also one of the most rewarding, most exciting, and most challenging things that one can do. The number of basketball players, families, coaches who have shared with me their gratitude for my taking that little bit of time, that one moment, to show them that I cared has truly made a difference. Side note, there is a significant shortage of basketball referees. Significant shortage. So if any of you all have ever thought about becoming a basketball referee, please see me. Definitely. I'm reminded of a quote that I heard recently by Shirley Chisholm, who in 1968 was the first Black woman elected to Congress. She was also the first Black candidate for president. Congresswoman Chisholm said, and I quote, "Service is a rent we pay for the privilege of living on this earth." Service is a rent we pay for the privilege of living on this earth. My life's journey, I believe, is based upon another quote by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Everybody can be great because everybody can serve. Everybody can be great because everybody can serve. So in closing, I'd like to share with you that giving back as a referee has given me countless hours of joy, satisfaction, and opportunity to be a part of service. To have that passion recognized as being worthy of induction to the Basketball Hall of Fame, and then to have this proclamation given tonight has truly been an unbelievable joy. To God be the glory for all that He has given us and all that has come. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ricky Wilcox.
Good evening. Let me start out by saying I'm not long-winded like cricket is. All right. Basically, I am honored to be here for this induction. I've had many wonderful accolades in my life. I owe it to a lot of great mentors myself, Dr. Eddie Meyer, Michelle St. Pierre, just many partners on the court. I've enjoyed mentoring cricket, but this all starts with having a wonderful family life, a home life. I wouldn't be able to do what I have done for 30 years. I just retired from refereeing Division I basketball at Women's College for 30 years. I did the Women's Final Four Division III championship game back in 2018, was inducted into the New York State Basketball Hall of Fame last year, and to get this honor is mind-blowing. My story was also published in Referee Magazine. So I owe a lot of this to my partners, but most of all, I owe this to God, and I owe this to my wonderful wife at home and my son, Tyler, that without them, I could not have done what I've been doing for so many years and have loved doing for so many years. I retired on good terms. I retired on my own terms. I did not want to be an observer. I did not want to be an evaluator. I wanted to just be done with basketball, hang up my shoes, put my whistles away, and just be able to open the front door, see that white stuff coming down during the winter months, and know I can close the door because I don't have to go out in that stuff anymore. I owe a lot. It's not a matter of what I've accomplished. It's a matter of what we accomplished as referees because, like I said, on the court, in college, there's 3 of us in striped shirts. In high school, there's 2 of us. So there's no I in refereeing. So it takes a team to do what we have done. So I am truly blessed with everything that my life has accomplished. And like I said, I owe a lot to my wife. She's home right now resting from rotator cuff surgery, so she cannot be here, but she's always in my spirits when I'm traveling on the roads, going 4, 7 hours away, staying in hotels, eating Burger King food at night.
and still trying to stay in the great shape that I'm in right now. So thank you very much. I am honored to be here, and congratulations to all the inductees tonight. Thank you.
Brian Hines.
Sure.
Got my little nephew up here with me. He need to be a part of this little history. First of all, I want to say thank you to the council, and more importantly, John Williamson. John, grew up with him. None of this would be possible without him. He made all this happen. Then I want to give another shout out to Rennie Lemieux for creating this whole basketball Hall of Fame and recognizing all the great players that we have in Albany, New York, in the South End and the Arbor Hill area. It's truly an honor to be here. I really wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my Uncle Terry Marbley. You know, I always wanted to be just like him. I wanted to follow him. I wanted to do everything he did. Working with kids for years. I'm also the founder of the Duncan Hines Basketball Classic that I've been doing for 25 years that I do in the South End of Albany and Lincoln Park. I'm very proud of that. We produced a lot of talent, a lot of kids from the area. We get kids from different parts of the eastern states, Boston, Connecticut, just to, you know, build the bridge so kids can understand that we still have the same ills here that we have over there. And on the grace of God, it's been going well. Thank my mom, my Aunt Bobby, for always being there for me, guiding me. And again, I'm very honored to be here. You know, and it's crazy because whoever thought some kids from Green Street would be up here? You understand me? Like I would never have imagined this in my life. You know, Mr. Robinson, another product of 230 Green Street. Mr. Williamson, it's just phenomenal. You know, I started basketball about 30 years ago in the city of Albany with a friend of mine, Life Robinson, Eddie Robinson. We went to Boston one weekend, tried to just get away, and we went to play in the NBA 3-on-3 tournament. And while we was up there, we seen another guy that spent time in Albany, that he was up there with a bunch of kids. So, you know, we're up there talking about, oh, man, we got to go back home and we got to get something going for the kids. I mean, we up all night, me and him talking. And when we got to Boston, it hit us. We got to bring basketball back to the hood. We got to do that. So we started. The biggest tournament Albany I've ever seen was called the Summertime Love Basketball Tournament. Me and Eddie Robinson and another guy named Rob McDaniel. That was successful for many years, and Mr. Robinson continued it. And I branched off. I wanted to do something on my own so I can show the kids downtown that it's not an uptown, downtown thing, because he had it for the kids uptown. And I had it for the kids downtown, but we always collaborated, you know. But he did a great job. He took it to Troy. He opened it up in Troy. He blessed the kids over there. And I'm proud of him. I just wanted to make sure I told him that. I didn't want to leave my brother out because he was a major part of me, and he always will be. And I just want to say thank you again. And thank you for the mayor for having us here tonight. She's been phenomenal the last couple of days. And Rennie, I'm going to look at you and tell you this, brother. You ought to be proud, man, because this is all you. And I'm grateful. Always my brother.
Troy Turner.
How y'all doing? Everybody good? That's good. This is the best award I have ever received because it comes from my city, my hometown. When Brian first told me about this, I cried like a baby I don't know why I cried like that, but it hit me, you know. I want to thank the Common Council, the mayor, for this opportunity. I want to thank Rennie. You're the man, man. You're the man. He developed an entity where maybe you can't go to the National Hall of Fame basketball, but he developed something for us, for New York State. And I'm so proud that he selected me. I went in 2012. I went in 2012, and I was truly honored and grateful for that opportunity. I just want to share a story real quick about my journey. I used basketball as a way out of the hood. I used to come home sometimes and there'd be no food in the refrigerator. And I would have to, run up to my grandmother's house to get something to eat. But I didn't let that bother me. I knew one day that I will have an opportunity to go buy a hamburger, basically, to go buy a hamburger. So I started playing basketball downtown, and I couldn't play. I wasn't good at all. And then my friends downtown, they basically, taught me the game. And from there, I just started practicing every night. I just would practice, shooting, everything. And then I moved to Boston for a short period of time, and I played high school ball with Patrick Ewing. I was on the same team he was on. And there, I learned what it is to be a student athlete. Because in order for me to go to college, I had to have good grades. So my coach, he would basically not let us in the gym unless we had all B's on a report card. All B's. I was like, wow, that guy cares about us, So I came back to Albany, and I was pretty much I was really good. I was really good. I was recruited by Siena. That was the first college team I played for. And it was a very talented team, but we were marred with dysfunction. Nobody got along. Everybody was fighting each other. There was just a lot of stuff going on, but we were talented. When I left that school and I transferred to New Paltz, with your brother, Omar, I transferred to there. And I came back home and we got in a car accident. I got into a car accident. And I had to sit out. My coach from Potsdam called me and asked me to come up. And I said, it's too far, coach. It's too far. I don't wanna. He's like, well, I got two players on the team that you might know, which was Brendan Mitchell and John Leonard. And they played locally. We played, one's from Troy, one's from Schenectady. Once he told me that, I said, coach, if I come up, we should win the national championship. My first year I got up there, we went to the national championship and lost by 1 point. Really good game, lost by 1 point. Second year, I looked at the schedule and I said, we should win every game except for that Albany game. That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. But we wind up winning that game. Once we won that game, I knew that we would go undefeated. Folks, I played on a national championship NCAA team that won a national championship 32-0. And at the end of that game, I just thank God. I just thank God that he brought me there. He gave me that opportunity to go through something like that. And what I mean, those two teams, and I wanted to say this to the council and the city government itself, if there's dysfunction, you're not gonna win. Everybody has to respect each other. My team at Potsdam, we respected each other. We loved each other. Yeah, we argued, we fought, but in the end, it was always like this. My first team, it was kind of like this. We didn't win. So I say to city government, because you guys are in the front, y'all have to protect us from what's going on today. Work together. Be on the same page. Enjoy each other. Fight for the good cause. Not yourself, but for all of us. Because we depend on y'all. I know. I'm sorry I'm talking too long, but I really needed to say that. This government, what's going on today, is scary. So I just want y'all to be winners and be undefeated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Renee LaRoe.
Councilman Williamson, thank you so much for inviting us here tonight and for this resolution. And thank you to all the other people that are in this room. It's special to celebrate these people for Black History Awareness Month. And the legacy of Albany is basketball. The first game was played around the corner in 1892. Which is a fact, at the YMCA. The legacy of greatness is in the people we've inducted in this Hall of Fame. And everyone you've heard from tonight is not only an inductee, but now a close personal friend, a friendship that I cherish. And I have so loved making the phone call to say, congratulations, you're a member of the New York State Basketball Hall of Fame. There's a framed picture here in the front that is 1968, Coach Ron Sanz, and it said that team was rated among the best in the country. That's the legacy of Albany basketball. The names we've inducted so far are just amazing people. And not just in basketball, but from what they've accomplished, their work ethic, what they've done since their playing days were over. My senior board member is Brian Hines, and we've talked, and we're actively seeking a more permanent home for the New York State Basketball Hall of Fame, and we would really love to have it here in Albany. And the next time Rebecca Lobo comes, when Rebecca Lobo comes from ESPN and she says there's nothing to do in Albany, she'll be wrong. We have a baseball Hall of Fame, New York State Baseball Hall of Fame, that's in Gloversville. We have a lovely building. We'd like to replicate that here. And I'd love to replicate it downtown. So I've asked Brian to spearhead that. So Brian Hines will be in charge of that project. And again, thank you so very much for this. It means a lot to me, and it's just wonderful to see all these people here. Thank you.
Madeline Gallen. Madeline Gallen. Malia Wilson. Malia Wilson. Christine Hayward. Manuel Mims. Jessica Currit. Miguel Currit. Okay. Caden Perrin. Shakira Shabazz. Got one.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lakeisha Chalmers, and I'm here representing my brother Lionel Chalmers. I didn't realize that I had to I didn't realize I had to sign my name when I first came in. So am I taking somebody's turn? Okay, thank you. I just noticed the names you were calling, they weren't here, so I figured I'd come up. Thank you. Thank you. So my name is Lakeisha Chalmers, and my brother Lionel Chalmers couldn't be here this evening, but thank you for honoring my brother. So on behalf of my brother Lionel Chalmers Jr. and our entire family, we would like to say thank you to the Albany Common Council and the Albany community for this incredible honor. Lionel truly wishes he could be here tonight, but he is in Sacramento coaching with the Orlando Magic as an assistant coach in the NBA. He would be the first to say that everything he became started right here in Albany. Albany helped shape his character, his discipline, and his belief that hard work can turn dreams into reality. From neighborhood courts like the New Courts, Crank Park, Washington Park, he went from that to college, to Xavier University, and then went to the NBA. He never walked his journey alone. There were coaches, teachers, mentors, friends, everyone from the Albany community. They all poured into him. Being recognized during Black History Month makes this especially meaningful because Lionel understands his journey is bigger than basketball. It's about showing young people that where you start does not limit where you go. Thank you for celebrating him and for continuing to uplift the next generation. With love and gratitude from the Chalmers family. I have something else I'd like to say. I myself am from Albany, and I've been a teacher in the Albany City School District for 25 years. And I work right here in Albany at Sheridan Preparatory Academy as a second grade teacher. So I'm continuously pouring into the kids of our neighborhood. So I would like to say thank you as well for helping me and our family. Thank you, Albany.
Ashley Bruno. Kayla Ray. Patrick Robinson.
All right, hello, everybody. Good evening. I'm a basketball coach, but I don't have a basketball story today. I spoke with Mr. Williams earlier. I believe with Mr. Lumpkin as well too. My issue is like a quality of life issue, which is the parking down in my neighborhood. I love when the Palace has events and stuff like that, but the Palace is frequent with, people that don't live in our neighborhood. And because I coach and stuff and I work, my days are long and I get home kind of late around showtime and I have nowhere to park. And I get a lot of tickets down by my house, and I have a residential parking sticker, and when I come down here to dispute my tickets or whatever, and it's just not me, my whole block feel the same way, but I'm just coming down here speaking up for the residents in my area. So, and I get ticket after ticket, and I want to know, like, where can I go for help? Because they tell me to come here and, talk to your common council person, whatever the case may be. I'm just like, what do we do? So if anybody can talk to me and tell me like what can I do? What can the people on my block do? I would appreciate it. That's why I'm here. I'm sorry. I don't have a basketball story tonight, but I am a basketball coach. I coach. And that's my story. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson.
Yep.
Ms. Farrell, can I get a motion to extend public comment?
Yes, Mr. President, I move that we extend the public comment 30 minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Next speaker, Madam.
Anaya A. Anaya A.
Good evening. My name is Anaya A., and I don't know the exact protocol of your city council, but I invited my advocate to speak with me or to stand with me because I am a little emotional. This evening, I didn't know what I was going to talk about necessarily. I came here to talk about the housing issues, the drug pandemic I've been seeing in this community, as well as the crimes and different things since I'm new here. But something happened. This basketball event literally changed my heart to speak more positively. Growing up as a Haitian American, we are immigrants and we don't necessarily know the American culture until we are invited in. Today I speak to you because I'm going through a crisis myself. But interestingly enough, several people here shared how basketball saved their lives, how community saved their lives. And instead of attacking people this evening, I want to let you guys know that there's a whole community out here that needs more advocacy, more purpose. You can clap. There are people that are really struggling. And I am a civil rights activist myself, former contributor under Dr. Osho for 7 years. I worked very closely with the NBA, Otis Birdsong, Pee Wee, Rucker Park. We had a whole event going on in the city to bring more young Black children out to see the celebrities, to show them a different way out. And in closing, one of the most powerful things happened to me in my advocacy years. One day I went to an event because I live in several cities, South Florida being one of them. And as I was at this event, I heard a white gentleman from the Navy SEALs speak about how basketball is not the only way out. The rap game is not the only way out. And I was in the bleachers like so upset because I'm like, does he not understand that a lot of us don't have many options? A lot of us don't have food to eat. A lot of us go home and we see the crime in the streets and we don't think we can make it out. But funny enough, the woman next to me said, Anaya, speak up. When you see him, talk to him and tell him basketball is what a lot of children know. So I went up to him like the G I am from Brooklyn, stand up, and I was like, yo, son, let me talk to you real quick. I said, do you understand when you said that a lot of people's feelings could have gotten hurt because a lot of young Black boys don't have another way out? And he said, Anaya A., I'm gonna invite you and your community to stand with me. And if anybody wants to be a part of the Navy SEALs, we're gonna work together. And through that partnership, we brought over 30 young Black young boys and girls to the Navy SEAL event where we showed them a different way out. But tonight, I'm not just here for me, because I'm actually going through homelessness myself. Homelessness is not what people think. Sometimes you could be up and other times you could be down. I'm here for myself, but I'm also here because my sister invited me tonight and said, Anaya, tell your story and I'll be here with you. Some people will be embarrassed to share. I got a college degree, I studied abroad, I've worked with the NBA and all these celebrities. I'm an activist and now I'm going through this problem. But if I don't speak up, who's gonna know to help other people? And in real closing, because as a minister and as a quote unquote gangster from Brooklyn, we could take long, but I'm gonna finish right here. I brought a young man with me who's facing another year of probation. Papa John is 23 years old. He is scared for his life because he's been put in a situation whereas there's no advocacy for a young Black man with a monitor on his leg. Tomorrow he goes back to court and we don't know what they're gonna say. But I'm not just here for me, I'm here for Papa John. And the rest of the Black boys walking around here with these little monitors on their feet, looking like slaves or something. Can we please stand up together, family, and do something about the streets that are going wild right now? The Papa Johns, the Anaya A's, those that were here talking about they didn't have no food to eat, but they made it. Please help us. And Papa John, I think, might be next on the list. And I want to thank my beautiful sister who's still with me today. And please, guys, let's see what we can do like others have said this evening. Thank you.
Papa John Gaddy.
Good evening. The issue that I'm bringing up here today is not like basketball related. So yes, as my good friend Anaya was just saying, yes, I am facing 1 year of probation, but I came here to see if I can get help. Sometimes the system is a little bit unfair and unjust. I feel like I've been doing everything that I'm supposed to. I'm tired, I'm homeless. I work 40 hours a week, and it's the constant stress and the hounding. It's just like, it's unbearable because unfortunately, like my homeless situation is not even something that I have been able to speak on a lot because it's really tough. I lost my house due to domestic violence. I lost my dad about 2 years ago. I've been struggling ever since to get off the street. So I was just wondering if there's any type of programs or help that I can kind of get into. That's my biggest concern. And there's a lot of other people who's also going through similar problems that I'm going through. And it's tough out here. Like, it's really tough for the homeless community because some people like to blame the people who are homeless and stuff like that, but it's just not the case. Sometimes unfortunate circumstances do help, and I honestly want to be in a position to where I can do better and possibly help other people that go through what I'm going through because I don't want to see nobody else go through this. That's just one of the concerns that I wanted to bring up here today. Um, yeah, and that was a call for help. Thank you guys. That's all I wanted to bring to your attention.
Thank you. Beverly Lyons. You don't want to speak, ma'am? Okay. Move on. Sylvia Jordan.
Good evening. My name is Sylvia Robinson Jordan. Tonight's been real powerful. And it's all tying in together. But I'm here because every time I look up, I see cranes in the sky all over Albany. But when I look down on the ground, I don't see us. These job sites are not hiring Black and brown people. You are giving away our land, our tax dollars, and outside companies that outsource the work, while our own neighbors are left standing on the sidewalk. Our children should not have to look up at those cranes and know their fathers and their mothers aren't allowed on the payroll. We have skilled people right here, including those returning home from jail, who are ready to work. This isn't just about me. This is about our community as a whole. I know my history. In 1960, there was an organization called the Brothers that stood up right here in Albany 60 years ago, fighting for the same thing, construction jobs at the Empire State Plaza. It's a shame that in 2026, I'm standing at the same podium, looking at the same cranes and asking for the same respect. My father was one of the brothers that fought. My father was one of the brothers that protested for the jobs at the Empire State Plaza. This project changed, but in the conclusion, the conclusion stays the same. You talk about stopping the crime. You can't stop the crime. You can't stop the crime. You can't stop the violence in the streets if people not getting jobs. But how can we stop it? We can't stop the crime. People doesn't come from talk. It comes from a paycheck. Peace don't come from talk. It comes from a paycheck. I'm here to say to every contract and every project for every project until, I messed up. I build a direct, it's gotta be a pipeline for people in the community to be able to get jobs. Do you understand what I'm saying? We cannot continue to look outside our windows, look up and see all this construction work going on, and we can't get these jobs. I got my OSHA 10, my OSHA 30, I got an inspection license, I got a safety license. I went to them and I asked them, were they hiring? They told me that they were from downstate. That money's not coming back into this community. That money's not coming into our community. They taking the money outside. So I'm just asking you, could you please take a look at that? Something got to be done. At least 30% of it got to be a pipeline to where's that. It could be like an on-the-job training with an OSHA 10. Let me get back to my, because I've stayed up all night. So let's just stop outsourcing, and I don't know, something got to be done. Something got to be done because they're not hiring no Black and brown people on these jobs. South End, Arbor Hill, you tell me, how many Black and brown people are on them jobs? There's none. Thanks for letting me.
Eddie Robinson.
Thank you. I keep this short and sweet. First of all, I would like to congratulate the 1962 basketball. Without them, you know, guys like me wouldn't have the opportunity to go to college. And like the lady, you know, who came before my sister, I just want to pivot because when you look at the game of basketball, you look at teamwork. And when I look around this room, I see history. And I'm asking each one of y'all to make history. Because it's very important for the young brothers and sisters to see women, men that walked in their shoes on these job sites. Now, I had the opportunity about 20 years ago to be part of a program that taught, you know, guys like me how to be electricians. And 20 years later, I'm a master electrician. So I was given the opportunity. And a good friend of mine tapped me on the shoulder and told me that I got a comeback story of the year. And his name is Mr. Johnson. And Mr. Johnson explained to me that regardless to what role you took to get here, you use that experience. And my brother Marky, he explained to me that for those who don't know your story, share it with them because it could be inspiration. And I won't need to say that to say this. These kids, they need individuals like me, like Mr. Hines, like Mr. Johnson, like Mr. Robinson, like Mr. Williams, who, and even Mr. Kimball, congratulations on your appointment. Now, I'll keep it short and sweet. This young man used to arrest me when he was an Albany police officer. But he was fair. And he always told me, I might be arresting you today, Mr. Robinson, but always believe in yourself. And I stand here today just to share my experience because it's important. We need jobs. Homelessness is a problem here. It's a problem. And one thing people don't want to talk about is mental health. Mental health is also a problem. So we have to stop looking at these people and say, you know what? Let me be part of the solution. Let me take time out and offer my services. And once again, like I said, I see history here in this room. Let's continue to make history. Thank you, and I appreciate your time.
Lateef Shamsida.
Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty much what was spoke about is I'm going to have to piggyback off of it because a lot of it relates to what I'm about to say. My experience today when I was driving downtown in Albany on Green Street, and I was looking at all the construction, and I was like, wow. And then something told me to go up Morton Ave, so I go up Morton Ave, and I'm looking at, you know, the housing there. I'm like, wow, it's gonna be a lot of money being made here. A lot of things going on. I have a construction background, handyman as well. I do a lot of things. And but right now, I'm connected to a small business, Black-owned business, and but we have to leave Albany. We have to ride to Binghamton, 2.5 hours to do a job that I feel as though we could be doing right here downtown on the south end. And the small minority business are being blocked. And we're not given the same opportunities as businesses that have contracts with the city. For some businesses, aren't even invited to bid on contracts. And this has been happening to our business over and over again. Because we can do the same work. I'm a lot older, but I love doing work. I love getting dirty, grimy. I love that. That's my thing. That's my getaway. And I just don't understand what's really going on. I've been in Albany since 1996. I've been up and down, good and bad. I just came off from prison doing 10 years. I've been out for 7 months, excuse me. And I'm just trying to find some work. That's it. I'm trying to be a productive member of society and do what I need to do. It's never too late for me to change. That's where I'm at. And I do remember you, Mr. Kimbrough. Congratulations on your appointment as well. And that's basically what I have to say. You know, I just want to be given a chance. You know, thank you.
Haksen Su.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I appreciate this opportunity to come here to bring up my concern. In the night of basketball, I did not expect what this would look like. So if I knew, I would at least dress a little bit better. So I'm a research scientist at the Wadsworth Center in the Conning Tower in the basement. We do about public health related research. We do also the public health related testing over there. Therefore, I have a lot of postdoc research scientists and also a PhD student and undergraduate student volunteers come to the lab as they want to develop their path to their career. And I want to bring to you, I come here just on behalf of them because the current recent change for the parking regulation along the Moulton Avenue, which is next to the Lincoln Park, really significantly impact the young trainees' capability to continue their training experience in our lab. I briefly explained this. I called around, and I had the chance. I appreciate Mr. Adams called me back today, and that's the same issue. I gave a really brief explanation because I was in the middle of talking to someone at the time in a meeting. So the thing is like this: for these trainings, they are the future of next generation of education for the STEM education for the public health work teams. They don't have a dedicated apartment under the New York State. And also, the Empire State Plaza, the parking had a really long waiting list. And for me, I had to wait for more than 10 years to get my first parking permit, even though I'm a faculty member there. And for them, they have really any way to find any possible parking. And also, they have stipends. They don't even have a reliable income. This is called stipends. It's for the some of them are volunteer undergraduate students. Some of them had under the CDC fellowship. They don't have very high income, and they are not able to find some kind of commercial public parking garage over there. It's too expensive for them. So they will try to find a place further away, like say, because we know the Moulton Avenue and on the Lincoln Park side, those two did not have the parking hour restriction. Therefore, they will park over there, and then they will walk about 15 minutes to the lab. And sometimes when there was a construction, they will park in the Lincoln Park. Lincoln Park is called, I think, Lincoln Park Drive inside over there. When there was a time, the 1.5 hours parking limit was invalid for a short period of time. So this will give them opportunity, come to the lab after they take a course, and then do some research work for a couple hours to one afternoon, something like that, and then go back to their school and take a course in, the Albany campus or Rensselaer, the RPI campus. So, but right now, when we limited it to 2 hours of parking, they don't have this opportunity anymore. They come to me, they ask, what should we do? I have no any solution. The only way I can tell them is, I could only talk to the city. And because of this kind of situation, I have a number of them. I think the total number of this kind of trainees, young students, probably not that many, will be like several dozen of them, but they really do impact their career path. And so I want to bring to your attention this issue. And I have actually 3 possible solution suggestion for you guys to consider, right? One is, because the public, the park is for public use. The nearby neighborhood really, for the street on the park side, we probably really don't need to have this 2 hours of parking and the limitation. That's one. 2, another.
Thank you, Professor Hsu. I hate to cut folks off, but time, we're way over time.
Yeah.
I would suggest speaking to Mr.
Adam,
Sergio to talk.
So I have 2 more solutions. I will talk to Adam later. Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity.
Please share with the council staff and the council.
Yeah, also,
together.
Ms. Brown suggested me this opportunity. Thank you. This is the first time I come to the City Hall. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Daniel Butterworth.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Daniel Butterworth. I am a longtime Albany resident, and I am the Executive Director of RISE, Refugee and Immigrant Support Services of Emmaus. Thank you for hearing me tonight and all of my fellow speakers. This city is approximately 12 to 15% foreign-born. It's a pretty sizable piece of our community. And that part of our community is under threat at the moment, and I don't really need to explain the reasons why. I'm very proud of this city for maintaining its sanctuary status and for being a welcoming community now and through much of our history. But our newcomer community is very afraid right now. We have families who are being torn apart, community members and neighbors who are being abducted by federal agents. And we've gotten to the point where the good intentions and the public statements are not enough. It's not enough with what we anticipate is coming for our community, like many other communities around the country. And as we see ICE activity increase, we need this body and the mayor and APD and other institutional partners to come to the table and help us find practical policy solutions that can provide a level of protection and support for our neighbors. The CBO community, community-based organizations who work with the newcomers in our community, we don't have the resources to do this on our own. We desperately need your help. And so during these extraordinary times, I'm hoping that we can come up with some extraordinary responses. And our community of partners who not only have been serving the refugee and immigrant community for many years, but also our neighbors who are volunteering to walk our neighborhood streets, to alert neighbors about the presence of ICE, to support neighbors, provide accompaniment, deliver meals, provide transportation for students. We have a list of policy recommendations that we would like to share with you all so that we can start moving forward together and provide the safety and security that our neighbors need. If you don't think that this issue is one that is becoming more urgent, I invite you to follow the Capital Region Sanctuary Coalition's social media at 518CRSC. This is the first thing I see in the morning and the last thing I see at night. And every single day, we're seeing confirmed ICE sightings, confirmed detentions, to the to the point where now we're averaging about 10 detentions of individuals or families each week. So come to the table with us. We need your help. And I will close, but before I go, please remember the immigrant heroes in your lives, the family members, the friends, the coworkers, the ancestors who've sacrificed so that you and I can all be sitting here today. And thank you for your service. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. So we're technically at the end of our second 30-minute second. So public comment section. So what we do from this point is we push the additional comment to our later public comment after we conduct our business. So you want to just continue? 4 more. Oh, you said how many? There are 4 more. Let them go? Okay. All right. Oh, to extend. Right. Right, and we were well past, we were past that time. Yes. I missed the time at an earlier point, so we let everyone go. So with that, can we vote to extend another 30? Okay, just continue.
Okay.
Call the speakers.
Sherry DaCosta.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for this time. I don't have a lot to say tonight because I feel like what I have to say pales in comparison to what we've been talking about here so far, but I do have a few concerns. One concern is dog owners. Is there an ordinance in the city of Albany that says that people have to clean up after their dogs? I have contacted General Services, OGS, whatever, DGS, and asked for waste containers. When those didn't come, I put a sign and a little dispenser that I put dog poop bags in, and that worked for a while, but all winter long, the owners have been letting the dogs, I've got wonderful pictures of the poop that's just all over every place. And it's disgusting. There's no reason for it. So if we have an ordinance, what do we do with that? Why do we have these things on the books? If we're not enforcing, I don't know. And I don't know where else to take this concern. The second concern that I have is regarding our wildlife. We have this Tivoli Nature Preserve that's really, great. And for the past several years, probably 3 years now, I think, maybe 4, no, 3, deer have been coming out of the preserve. I've spoken about this before, but they've been nightly in my yard, and they've learned, so I have bushes on either side of the front steps, and over 2 years, the one bush is nearly completely destroyed, and now they've learned to climb the steps to get to the top of the bushes so that they can eat those. This sounds like a minor concern. I love the deer, okay? But 3 years ago, there were deer dead on I-90, not just on I-90 westbound lane, but also on the exit ramp going up into the Arbor Hill area. It's a health hazard for human beings because of there could be someone get seriously injured there. Also having deer come into your yard, there are deer ticks and Lyme disease. The deer have also been on Livingston Avenue in Judson. I spoke with a neighbor today over on 2nd Street, and they've been in the yards there on 2nd. And I've contacted the executive director of Tivoli Preserve on 3 occasions now. One was before the city began the planning of the changes that would take place in the preserve, because I said, please consider that you have wildlife there, and maybe we need to think about them because they're beings too. And I've contacted them twice again recently, and I've been told that they've reached out to the city. Because what I'm saying, you know, put some food, if you can't call in the hunters or let out the wolves to keep the deer population down, then put some food inside the preserve for the deer so they don't come out into the city searching for food. They're hungry. And thirdly, you know, I've spoken before on the issue of ICE, and I'm sure there are other people who maybe want to talk more about it too. You know, I just stand and support this gentleman who just spoke and said, please, let's find ways to work together. Thank you.
Thank you. Tabora Marcus.
Good evening, common council members and council president. My name is Tabora Marcus. I am a member of the West Hill community. And today I sit here before you to talk about our unhoused population. Many people call or use the term homeless. I choose to say unhoused because I understand that people do not want their dignities to be taken away from them by calling them homeless. Many of you guys may know that my role within the city is to kind of understand what's happening with our unhoused population. But I take my role a little bit more serious. I find time to house individuals, find the safe spaces for them to be. I find shelters. Sometimes I shelter folks outside of the city, Schenectady, other places that they may have come from. We just try to find other spaces where people can be. I sit here today because I'm here for many of those voices that you guys will never hear. You will never hear their stories. You will never hear the hardship that many of these individuals have faced. Some of us have already put biases on what unhoused populations look like, and that to you guys may look like mental health. It may even look like addiction. But I'm here to tell you that there are people who are experiencing homelessness that are in our working population, that have degrees, that are human. They have the right. It is our right to make sure that folks are housed. We are facing a lot of different barriers where people can't obtain housing. The federal government has said that if there's no documentation as a birth certificate, a person can't receive an identification. Without an identification, an individual can't receive a birth certificate. Many of our populations of individuals that are within the city of Albany have been brought into the city from other municipalities. DSS is housing folks down at the city mission from all over the county. Heartbreaking as it is, many of us walk in these biases because we pass individuals not realizing that they're human, that they're somebody's child, maybe somebody's parent, and we walk past them as if they don't exist. Nor do we even take the olive branch or extend that to really, really understand what is happening within our city around our unhoused population. I've heard people say they don't want to be housed. Oh, mental health have them bottled down. Addiction is what it is. But I'm here to tell you that it's far from the truth. You guys have recently, just last year, had a gentleman come and sit before you, and he uttered my name to tell you guys that he once ran for mayor of this very city and experienced homelessness in his sickest days, going through chemo. And yet every avenue that he reached out to, there was no one there to stand beside him.
I sit here because in my role and as a community member, I will stand with this population of individuals. I will fight diligently to make sure that their voices are in every room that I can get into to make sure that they are heard. I ask you guys to make sure when you talk about budgeting in your next budget for those who are new members, please make sure that those individuals are at the forefront of your tongue, that you think about every parent, every child. Our unhoused population, we're experiencing unhoused population of immigrants where people are being deported and they're leaving their children behind and they're unhoused. And yet many of you are sitting here and may not even know that those are things that are happening in our very community. One of the most vulnerable communities in the city is West Hill.
Thank you.
I'll yield my time, thank you.
Ernest Lattimore.
Good wait. It was a long wait, but it was worth it. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ernest Majestic Lattimore. I'm the owner of 217 Central Avenue, the Lab Multimedia Recording Studio, Blackline Records, LLC, independent record label. I was asked to come here because of what I did previously, which was construction. I'm an original member of the Minority Contractors Association. So I'm not gonna give you a long story about how things look so bad. I'm gonna give you a solution, because we did it. We did this in 2000. The Minority Contractors Association assembled a bunch of minority contractors, plumbers, electricians, painters, framers, all my brothers and uncles, and we did this. And what we did was what we were told we couldn't do. We created jobs for that young man, that young man, that young man. And the way we did it, because they told us in order to get on these jobs, like she's talking about right now, Ms. Robinson, right? That's your name. You go down on Green Street and you see those projects, they're full of brown and black people. But everybody that works there don't look like them, right? And the same thing, you sit on Clinton Avenue, I drive them down Clinton Avenue, watch all the work going on up and down on Clinton Avenue, and the black men, they're sitting on the steps watching anybody else work. So we came up with a solution, like I said, years ago. We created, because they told us you had to be an apprentice, but they didn't let us in the apprentice program. So my brother went to Buffalo, got the curriculum, and came back, and we created our own apprentice program. It's called Step Up. And there's a lot of people right now that have jobs, have their own companies because of that. We did it, I did it along with the Urban League. And like I said, the Minority Contractors Association. So my point being is, all we have to do is come together and get, no pun intended, like the young lady was saying, that budget that y'all talking about, it needs to include, you know what I'm saying? It needs to include programs that allow us to teach one another. Because I'm nice at it. I got 40 years. I'm a journeyman. I can teach you anything. And that's what we do. So, like I said, it can be done. It can be done. We just have to come together. You understand? We have to have the support. And right now, we got to, no disrespect. But this mayor we got, y'all got your job on your hand because she ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? She's not playing. And you, right now, this is the first time I've been in one of these council meetings in a moment. What I'm looking at right now is change. And I think this can be real positive. Like I said, I am majestic. I'm gonna be on you. All right, thank you.
Joseph Dixon, excuse me.
How you doing? My name is Joseph Dixon, Jr. I've been on 209 Myrtle Ave for about 47 years now. Grew up in Albany, in and out, lived around the world. Albany has always been my home. I want to start with 1988. These trees were put in front of the house. They were about this big. Now these trees are about this big, right? 20 years ago, I got control of this house. Mayor Jennings was in power. They told me I needed a grant because roots were getting into my sewer line. I didn't want to get a grant because I knew I had to pay it back. This house we have, we ain't not making no money. It's basically just family living in it just so we can get to the next place. So I bought myself a snake. So I snake drains every year. Now these trees are hitting the ceiling. I have to call DG, the city, to cut the limbs down. I got squirrels making holes into the ceilings, eating in my electrical lines. I got abandoned house right here, abandoned house right here. Squirrels all over the place. The sidewalks up and down from the trees. I even broke my foot August of 2024 from stepping on one of those sidewalks. I think it is, something needs to be done. You got people from the South End, they got to walk up the street to go to Price Chopper. They're walking in the street now. Also, too, I've been a local 83 journeyman since 1989. When I got out the Army, I became a apprentice. And only reason I got to get into that union because I was a minority and I was a veteran. And one thing I learned from being in a union, unions are family owned. So a lot of these companies are family owned. Drinking Buddies second, we're last. Something needs to be done with that.
Thank you, sir. This is our last public comment. So with that, we'll close public comment period. Okay, next on to approval of minutes from the previous meeting. Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I offer the February 2nd, 2026 meetings for approval.
Second. Second. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, motion passes, minutes approved. Reports of standing committees. Any reports of standing committees at this point? Okay. Ms. Keegan?
I'm sorry. Thank you, Mr. President. The Finance Committee met on February 4th. We managed to move a number of pieces of legislation that will be voted on this evening, including Local Law B, Local Law C, and resolutions 41226R and 51226R.
Thank you. Any further? Okay, seeing none. Moving on into the agenda for consideration of local laws. Mr. Ballerin.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask to notice local law D and ask that it be read for the record.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
A local law amending Article 38 of the Code of the City of Albany in relation to the Departments of Administrative Services and the Office of Cultural Affairs.
Discussion. Mr. Ballerin?
It should be
Oh,
going to committee.
there was intro. Ms. Farrell?
That will go to Human Rights, Human Resources.
Thank you. Next, under local laws held, Mr. Howie.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice local law B of 2026.
Madam Clerk, please read the local law.
A local law amending Article 3, Senior Citizens Tax Exemption of the Chapter 333 Taxation of the Code of the City of Albany to allow for the signing of an affidavit to replace the filing of annual renewal applications for property owners who have received the exemption for 5 consecutive years.
Discussion. Mr. Howie.
Thank you, Mr. President. I was assessed of this problem by our tax assessor, Trey Kingston. And what he explained to me is a lot of senior citizens, as they move up in years, they forget to file the yearly exemption, which can be over 60% off their property tax and their school tax. And there is no recourse once they're past the deadline for that year. So they would have to come back the next year. So trying to make things a little bit easier for people, because right now you have to come down to City Hall with tax information, receipts, and all sorts of paperwork. It's very difficult for many of our seniors to make the trip down to City Hall. So what this local law will do is after 5 years, if they've applied and received the exemption, all they'll have to do is sign an affidavit saying that they are still within the range of their tax, the amount of money that they make per year has not gone over the exemption limit, which every year it seems with the inflation that we do move up. So this is really going to help our seniors keep their houses and not cause catastrophe, because if they were getting 50% off last year and all of a sudden they forgot to do it, now their taxes are going to increase. So I do hope that my colleagues will support this local law. Thank you.
Further discussion? No? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Adams. Anani.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Valorant.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Brody.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Farrell.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Flynn.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Hoey.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Keegan.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Lumpkin.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Powell.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Robinson.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Williamson.
Yes, co-sponsors, please.
Samer.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
14 in the affirmative.
The motion passes. On to the next local law, Ms. Keegan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to notice local law C and ask for its passage.
Madam Clerk, please read the local law.
A local law amending section 42-263, annual salaries of elected officials of the Code of the City of Albany in relation to adding a majority whip position for the Common Council and the salaries of elected officials.
Discussion? None? Madam Clerk, please. Mr. Johnson.
Thank you. I'm gonna just start right here. I've sat in this and listened to many discussions about taxpayers' money, and I'm a little bewildered at the need for a whip in a chamber that is full of Democrats. For history, it has been the responsibility of the majority leader as well as the pro temp to do the things that they are tasking the whip to do. So at a time when every time, people come and speak about doing things that are constructive, you hear time and time again, taxpayers' money. And I just found it interesting that out of nowhere, there became a need for a whip in this body. And I'm gonna hold the mayor's office accountable, and I'm gonna hold us accountable. In the past, I didn't support us getting a raise. I just feel like at this time when, we listen to people talk about struggling to have a house and the basic essentials, that we, come up with an opportunity like this. I will not be supporting this tonight. I think that we have to practice what we preach when we stand in front of the public, and we stop things that could be beneficial. We give a lot of struggle to things that come through here that are an attempt to address things. So I'm bothered by the thought of this conversation, and I will not be supporting this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Flynn,
just to stay consistent with my previous vote, I would be voting no to the raise. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Adams.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just want to share the same sentiment as fellow colleagues here. I think from the financial sense of the conversations that we had the financial conversations we've had over the last year, that making such decisions in a last hour is troublesome to not only how I personally feel, but I think in terms of procedure as to how this council and body operates, I think that we should be more mindful and intentional with the decisions that we're making, where the funding is coming from to be able to do these things, and be honest and open about what's going on and transparent. As Councilmember Johnson stated, we are responsible for the tax dollars and money in the city. While I, again, agree with my colleagues, I do think that this is at a time where we should be more intentional with what we're doing right now. And I don't see that this right now is a pressing need, especially to mention that, again, we are a majority Democrat body with roles and responsibilities that are already elected and given to the President Pro Temp and majority leader. So I just want to make that a note on the record of my concern when it comes to this issue. And, feel free to vote how you feel.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Right, yeah, we should have. We'll end with our, I saw two hands. Mr. Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. President. My concern is how this position was funded. To take a very important tool that we have in our tool chest when it comes to combating violence and minority in every district throughout the city. But, when we look at the police data just in the past week, the armed robberies and assaults that took place in my community and the age limit, I think by taking money from a violence coordinator position to fund the position that through decades was only was at the power, at the majority whip and the leadership. I just think that, that is not a fair thing to do. I think it's not fair to, to use monies that is allocated in the budget line for a violence prevention coordinator to even be thought about, to fund a position that is already, the duty is already being done between the majority whip and the leadership. And then from hearing that, moving forward, that this position is going to be taken out of budget, that leadership had these conversations, I was appalled, because how can leadership have conversations to take a very important tool, from our toolbox that's going to deal with, violence prevention in communities where, younger and younger ages is being caught with guns is being involved. It was told to me, because the mayor is doing her own thing. That's what the mayor is doing. We have this money that's already allocated in our budget. Once you take this money out of our budget, what is going to take to put back into the budget? It's not going to happen. I just feel I got to agree with my colleagues. I feel there's not a need. So I'll also be voting no on this issue.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Ms. Farrell?
I'll go after. Ms. Keegan has not spoken yet on it, so.
Right.
No, I said I was going to go last as the sponsor of the legislation.
I just wanted to note that, and Ms. Keegan will likely go into more detail with the funding, but this is a very small amount of funding. And it was something that we have discussed with the entire body, and the entire body was comfortable moving in this direction. The reason why we did it is not because leadership is not really about whether or not you have Democrats and Republicans. Leadership is about the council as a whole, and it has nothing to do with the parties in the actual body. The reason why those names are there for leadership is because it really comes from larger places. But leadership is not about Democrat or Republican, it's about leadership. And we are a body that is growing. When we talked about it initially, the reason why we wanted to move in this direction is because we do feel like there are more roles. And the concept behind the majority whip position was somebody to be more outward facing. We have a mayor's office who is doing great things, but has also grown the mayor's office a great deal. And having someone that is focused on what's happening outside, communicating things more with what the council is doing with the outside world. We haven't done that effectively because it's a lot. Leadership is a huge amount of work. It's at least double what the normal council work is. So it is an absolute privilege to serve in leadership, and it's something every single one of us appreciates. But it's also, council should be more proactive about what's happening outside and communicating what we're doing and the thoughts of what we're doing. And the majority whip position has done that. I will say Owusu has immediately come up with statements, things like that, and is really coming up with an idea to do that. And I think it is an important function for the council. I wish it's something that when we brought up initially for discussion and everyone was comfortable with it, these different points were brought up then, because we would not have gone in this direction. So I would, generally when we talk about things, it would be great if people voiced their opinions when we initially talked about it and not so far after the fact.
Thank you. Before finishing, I'd like to get Mr. Winter to speak, because we changed our rules procedure, and this was all a part of that stuff.
Right, just in the interest of clarity, so all members are on the same page. The position of majority whip has already been created. It was created by this body at the first meeting of the year when we passed the updated rules of procedure, which included a new member of leadership, the majority whip position. That position was then elected on. This position has already been filled. The legislation in front of us tonight is strictly about funding that position to bring it in line with all other members of leadership. Voting this down does not eliminate the position. This is strictly a matter of funding.
Okay, Ms. Brody and Mr. Ballard. I'm gonna try to get people that haven't spoke. Who has?
Mr. Johnson has already spoken on this legislation.
Right, I said Mr. Ballard and Ms. Brody, Mr. Ballard. Okay. And there were votes. It involved, the meetings involved votes also.
But also point of clarification here, Council President, by all means, the position was voted on, but not the funding aspect and where the money is coming from.
With that, Ms. Brody.
Thank you, and I appreciate the restating of the clarification and the points of clarification. As a newer member of this body, I also understand that there's a lot of learning curve, and have appreciated the conversations that have gone into helping myself and my newer colleagues get up to speed, especially around the creation of this position, which we clearly did vote on. I myself voted on creating it. At that time, there was no discussion around the dollar amount that would be associated with it, where that money would be coming from, or how it would be paid for in forward years. I'd just like that to be stated for the record. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Ballerin?
Thank you, Mr. President. So I just want to make clear to members, so the dollar amount that we're talking about is an additional $3,000 that we took from savings from a vacant position. So because there's currently a vacant position, we have that savings in our overall budget to be able to fund this position for this calendar year. Next calendar year, we will have to find money in our budget to make it work. But I do think it's a valuable position to have. I think as a organization, we have grown. We have grown in our staffing, we have grown in our responsibilities, we have grown in the responsibilities we have taken on from other entities. I mean, we deal with the Police Review Board. That is a massive undertaking that we took on that we didn't have as past councils. So having another person in the room that brings different resources, that brings different perspectives when we're having this discussion is an asset for this body long term. When all the current leadership is gone, when all of us are gone, many, many years from now, for some of us, but having more people in the room when we're having these difficult conversations is an asset to the organization. Having more perspective and resources in the room is an asset to this organization. So I think it was a good move to be made by this body to increase our leadership so that we can have this structure long term beyond just this session, because the work we have is growing. You know, I looked back at the budget from 2014, and to see the staffing compared to what we have now, to see the responsibilities under the council compared to what we have now, is night and day. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It shows that this body is growing in its responsibilities and is having more of an impact in our policies. So I will be supporting this. I think it's a good investment. I think it's funds that we currently have available because of savings that we have for this year. And I think we will find the resources next year to make it happen. And I also want to make it clear, in 2020, it was this body that was willing to take a pay cut. Nobody's doing this for the resource, for the check. I don't believe anyone here is doing it for that. We're all doing it for the work that we can do in our city and our community. So I want to make sure that's brought back to the table, because I don't believe anyone's here doing it for that. I don't. I mean, we could all be doing having a lot less stress in our life for it. But thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bauer. Ms. Powell?
No, thank you, President Kimbrough. I think too, I also, I support the role. I think, like my colleague, Councilmember Brody said, when we voted on this role, we were not aware that it would cause an increase in our budget. So I think, it would be helpful and useful in the future if we had that information before we voted on the position. Maybe people realized that was going to be the case, but I certainly did not know that. I do think that, we did go back to our mayor and our mayor's staff and ask for them to look further into 2027 to talk about where they would find the funds for the increases that they looked for. And I was just wondering and asking if maybe we should do the same so that it's not kind of a unfunded increase that we have to deal with in 2027, or if the Finance Committee evaluated that at all. So I just wanted to ask that question and pose that question today.
Okay, thank you. And we'll, with that, shift to the Finance Chair, Ms. Keegan.
Thank you. So In answer to Councilmember Powell's question that is addressed in the legislative intent memo, there is a clear directive in the legislative intent memo to make this a budget neutral added expense, with the caveat that we would still anticipate to see the salary line item increase as a whole in the budget, because if we didn't, we would not be giving cost of living adjustments to any of our existing staff. So there will be a modification to that salary line item going forward. With regards to the concerns over the community violence coordinator, for those of you who are not with us last session and are new to this, the Finance Committee actually fought to create that position in response to the previous administration being unwilling to provide staffing for the Violence Prevention Task Force. And we fought tooth and nail for the creation of that position. The fact that we have a new incoming administration who wants to then take over that role, and traditionally those boards are staffed and operated by the mayor's office and the administrative side of the city. So those negotiations have not been entirely completed. We don't know where that position necessarily is going to be, but in terms of being able to get the Office for Violence Prevention off the ground this year within the budget that we have, it does make the most sense that we would consider transferring that item over to the administration. But we don't even have legislation on that. In reality, we have to live within the salary cap that was set for the budget this year. And the reason why that item was specifically selected is because that item was vacant and the salary was available to be able to make the argument that we can be within the salary cap, considering the salary that went unspent for the month of January. And lastly, I just would remind my colleagues that the vast majority of this body voted on legislation that is not funded for 2027. The position that you all voted for the auditor to have creates a substantial budgetary hole for that office in terms of its staffing salary line for fiscal year 2027. It is only allowed to be paid for this year by foregoing backfilling vacant items that they plan to have in fiscal year 2027 for over 3 months of this year. So I find it, or I am slightly taken aback that we're creating drama over $3,000 tonight, but we're totally willing to allow for this to occur in other areas of the city. It doesn't make fiscal sense to me. But we are truly committed between staff and the Finance Committee to making this budget neutral in terms of the cost for fiscal year 2027. And we have other mechanisms besides the Community Violence Prevention Coordinator to make that happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Keegan. So with that, we're on to roll call.
Adams.
No.
Anani.
Yes.
Valorant.
Yes.
Brody.
No.
Farrow.
Yes.
Flynn.
No.
Hoey.
Yes.
Johnson.
No.
Jones.
No.
Keegan.
Yes.
Lumpkin.
Yes.
Powell.
Abstain.
Robinson.
Clarification, this vote is on not the actual position, but the funding of the position. And it's coming out of the Violence Prevention Coordinator salary at this town that's vacant.
But not only that, we're voting now. We're past the point of.
Absolutely, but I just for clarification, that is about the funding.
You're correct.
Okay. No.
Williamson.
Yes.
Zamer.
Yes.
8 affirmative, 6 no, 1 abstention.
Okay, the motion passes. Okay, with that, moving on, Ms. Farrell, you want to close out local laws?
Local laws are closed out for this.
Okay. Next on to ordinances introduced, Mr. Ballard.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. I noticed ordinance 3.22.26 and ask for it to be read.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please read the ordinance.
An ordinance amending Chapter 359, Vehicles in Good Order of Part 2, General Legislation of the Code of the City of Albany by adding a new clause restricting the parking of commercial vehicles to 2 commercial vehicles per block per household or business.
Ms. Farrell?
That will go to planning.
Thank you. Okay, next on to ordinances held, Mr. Williamson. Thank you. Madam Clerk?
An ordinance authorizing and directing the grant of a permanent easement over a portion of city-owned property at 5 Mill Road, tax map parcel number 75.00-2-8 to Niagara Mohawk Power Corporation for upgrades to the Normanskill Gas Regulatory Station project.
Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, please call the roll.
Adams.
Yes.
Anani.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Ballerin.
Yes.
Brody.
Yes.
Farrell.
Yes.
Flynn.
Yes.
Hoey.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Keegan.
Yes.
Lumpkin.
Yes.
Powell.
Please.
Yes.
You say something? Okay. Robinson.
Yes.
Williamson.
Yes.
Zamer.
Yes.
15 in the affirmative.
Thank you. The motion passes. Okay, so we are, Ms. Farrell, can you close out?
The rest of the ordinances are held.
Thank you. On to resolutions held, Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice Resolution 3/1226R and ask for its passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
A resolution of the Common Council.
I apologize. I believe I need to discharge that from committee first.
Oh, that's correct. All right, Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice Resolution 3/1226R and ask for it to be discharged from committee.
Second.
Second, Mr. Hoey, all in favor? Can I get a little enthusiasm? I didn't hear it.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. That whole half over there.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice Resolution 3/1226R and ask for its passage.
Madam Clerk.
A resolution of the Common Council confirming the appointment of Miriam Dixon as the Commissioner of Administrative Services.
Discussion? Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to note for the record that while this was not done in the traditional manner, we actually were able to have many more council members involved in questioning Ms. Dixon. So we still had an opportunity to discuss, ask questions, as we like to do with commissioners. And I look forward to voting on this evening.
Mr. Hoey?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to add for the new members of the council that when the mayor makes an appointee that comes up in front of us, we have 45 days to say yes or no. If we don't say anything, it automatically goes through. It's like a pocket, it just goes through. So I'm glad that we're doing this tonight. I think it's important that we give the support to the mayor for her new staff, that we're behind them. We want to see the city move forward. So I will be voting yes on this tonight. Thank you.
Further discussion? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Adams.
Yes.
Anani.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Ballerin.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Brody.
Yes.
Farrell.
Yes.
Flynn.
Yes.
Hoey.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Johnson.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Keegan.
Yes.
Lumpkin.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Powell.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Williamson,
Yes, co-sponsors, please.
Zamer,
Yes.
15 in affirmative.
Motion passes. Thank you. Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice Resolution 4/1226R and ask for its passage.
Madam, this one that we're about to intro? Yeah. Madam Clerk, please read that.
A resolution of the Common Council approving a transfer of budget funds and a change in the authorized position included in the 2026 city budget, which will affect a salary rate or salary total.
Discussion, Ms. Farrell? Okay. Ms. Brody?
Thank you, Mr. President. So as I think just confirmed by voting on the appointments of individuals into the mayor's administration, I am very much understanding and supportive of the mayor and their administration. They're staffing their offices with the best and the brightest. I also deeply understand the need to do so within budget, and I think as we've heard a lot about tonight from many of our speakers prior and since, that we all share universal concerns about affordability of groceries and housing and healthcare, and I think we need to turn that lens on ourselves. So let me be clear, my concerns about this particular piece of legislation have nothing to do with the individuals or even the individual roles that we're talking about. My concerns are very simple. We need to know that we can afford these salary raises this year and how we are going to afford them in the future. So in order to answer these questions, I dug into the numbers, and I'll be frank, they are not flattering. First, I took a look at what Albany looks like compared to our peers in upstate New York. In 2024, the average upstate New York City spent about $116 per capita on administrative expenses. Albany, however, spent $254. Before the increases we're about to vote on, this means that Albany is literally twice as expensive as our peers, and this bill will only deepen that burden. For some Albany-specific context, I look back in history. Since 2019, the Office of the Mayor's spending on personnel services has increased by almost $850,000 annually. This is a 200% increase, which is also unsustainable. Further troubling is the fact that this bill was put forth within literal days of starting the current fiscal year. This gives me very little confidence that these unsustainable increases will slow, or that the current administration is concerned about these as much as I am. So let me be clear, these are not one-time expenses, these are not grant funded, these are dollars coming directly from the city's taxpayer-funded general fund. What's more concerning, there is no plan, as we asked for from the mayor's office, to offset these increases in 2027 and beyond. Passing these resolutions now essentially guarantees that we'll have to either raise taxes to cover this next year or cut from other lines to cover the difference. We have no commitment from the mayor's office to do the latter, which leads me to believe that we will be simply raising taxes to afford these 20% staff increases in the future. The strategy of hiring and swearing in people before the budget amendment was even voted on also raises a serious question for me. We need to decide how seriously we all take the need for a rational budgeting process, HR practices reflective of codified policy and practice, and our responsibility to the taxpayers of the city. A line that is drawn in our charter, and that is, I think, in the spirit of good government, is that these decisions must remain within the annually set budget. Because these raises were so extraordinary in the amounts asked for, they triggered review and voting by the Common Council. And I'm gonna say what will probably land me in some hot water, but I'm finding that's my comfort zone lately. Amongst some, there is a perception that this body may exist as a rubber stamp. And I refuse to let that be how I answer to my residents in the 6th Ward. So tonight we have the opportunity to respectfully rise to the occasion, not in opposition to progress, not in any way a comment on the talents of the individuals being proposed for these roles, but as an affirmation of good government and commitment to those we represent citywide. I encourage my colleagues to consider the facts of the situation and vote as you see fit.
Thank you, Ms. Brody. Mr. Flynn?
Yes, to be consistent with my rationale and raises this year, I will be voting no also. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Flynn. Mr. Johnson?
Yes. So I'll say that I've been in this body and I've watched the mayor's office bring new people into the city for the last 12 years. And they were sometimes the only people that got raises in the city. I just want to point that out. I also want to point out that we are a city that is in need of a lot of things. And for a long time, growing up here, it was a lot of people in official positions without education, without true job experience. And when we're trying to get the best people for those positions, we have to pay some money. I think they did a job study in the last 8 years that showed that some of the positions were very low, and that's why they had they raised the pay for a number of positions. But even then, the numbers were still low. So if we are complaining about our talent leaving the city of Albany, one of the ways that you address it is through positions like these. These are the most attractable positions to city government. And if we want talented individuals, we have to be willing to be creative. I know that I can trust in the mayor's office that they're figuring out ways to address the stresses that they brought to the city. And if not, that's also where we come in, and those are the difficult conversations. So I will be supporting, and I'm always looking through a clear lens at some of the things that we have been doing. But for it to be said about a rubber stamp, this body has been a rubber stamp for the mayor for the last 3 terms of these types of acts. So I don't encourage it, but I think that what this mayor is doing, she has always shown me integrity and responsibility and a commitment to the needs of our city. And I think that in her campaign, she heard a lot, and she's trying to address it. So I will be supporting, and thank you for the time.
Mr. Nani? I'll come back.
First, I just want to thank everybody that came to the Finance Committee meeting. I think it's important, especially when these important votes come up, especially if you're in opposition, to kind of send an email, share with a colleague, go to the committee meeting and express how you feel, so we can have a long discussion. But it's interesting when you see people who don't show up to Finance Committee meetings, but come here and vote no. I know there are some new council members, and maybe this is an educational opportunity, but I will say this. If you are strongly in opposition of a piece of legislation, please go to committee. Please send a letter, share with your colleagues. Just don't come here and surprise all of us with a no vote, because it's not being really collegial. I think it's important that if you are really in opposition to any piece of legislation, whatever it is, please share that concern at committee. And I want to say something that was said about us being rubber stamps. Go ask the previous mayor if we were rubber stamps. We vetoed the mayor 8 times. I'm pretty sure that the previous mayor would not say we were rubber stamps. I will be supporting this legislation, but let's be honest and let's stop with the rubber stamp of the previous council, because we vetoed this last mayor more times than any previous mayor in the past 100 years. So thank you.
Mr. Robinson?
Thank you, Council President. I just want some clarification from council. I believe I have to excuse myself from all discussions and votes related to anything dealing with the mayor and her. Is this one of the items that is associated with the commissioner and his pay? Because if it is, I would like to
No,
excuse
that's the next
myself.
piece. That's the next piece. That's 5,
Yeah,
that's 12.
or 12.
No, that's the next legislation.
Okay.
Right, that would be 5, 12, 26R that you're
Okay,
referring
so-
to.
so the
This
next
one
one,
is
so the-
unrelated.
All right, so please note that I will be, okay, thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Ballard.
Thank you, Mr. President. Look, I am truly understanding the concerns from members regarding the budget and the budget for future years. I've said it very clearly. I'm very concerned of where we are fiscally for 2027 and beyond. 2026 is the last year we have ARPA funds. The last year we have other resources, and it's going to get tougher as we move forward, and I get that. But I also think, we have to give this mayor the opportunity to build her team. At the Finance Committee, I referenced a book that I read many years ago, and I looked through it again recently, From Good to Great. And the number one thing that they say, to be able to take a organization, a business, an entity from good to great, is you have to have the right people on the bus. You got to have the right people in your team to try to take your entity from good to great. So I want to give this mayor the opportunity to take this city from good to great, and bring in the team that she wants. I'm hoping that these teammates will find new creative ways to bring in new revenue, that they have relationships that others don't, that they can bring us new streams of access to funding. I'm hoping that these new teammates will have the skills and experience to be able to, find out ways to be more efficient and run in a more economic manner. I'm going to give this mayor that opportunity. And if we come down the line to next year and we're looking to make some significant tax increases or increase of fees, then that's where we hold the line. That's where we have to have those tougher conversations of, that's not what we were supporting when we supported you building your team. But I do understand. I think it's important for us to understand that this may be an issue come 10 months from now. I'm going to be optimistic that, and I'm going to be giving this administration the opportunity to build their team, to find new resources, to build on those relationships that they have, and hopefully put us in a better place fiscally, so that we can fund these positions and more, and as well as give our union workers fair increases, because this is not a new debate that we've had on this council. We've had this issue before when it came to increases for administrative staff. I also want to say that we've I'm just going to leave it at that. Thank you.
Speak also, Ms. Powell. Oh, so we'll start with Ms. Keegan.
I just want to note in relation to everyone's comments here this evening, the Finance Committee did not rubber stamp the 2 resolutions that we're voting on with relation to the changes in administrative staffing this evening. These bills were discussed over the course of several meetings. We made them come back with additional information. I will say on this particular resolution, I'm not comfortable voting in favor of it because the administration was unwilling to make cuts to offset the salary increases, which is a nuanced difference between this bill and 51226R, which did come with an actual elimination of a position in order to make and a commitment to maintain that cut out of Corporation Council for fiscal year 2027. They did not have a plan for how they were going to actualize this in the budget for this particular bill in the budget for fiscal year 2027, which does make me uncomfortable because we're not talking about a small amount of money, including FICA and all of those other pieces. It's roughly about $75,000 or an entire position between these two positions. So I just wanted to clarify my vote between these two bills because it may seem a little confusing. But also to clarify that the Finance Committee certainly put the mayor's office through the ropes before we were even willing to move these two bills through committee. And they did provide additional information, additional data. They certainly flushed out and provided significantly more information as to the intent of these staffing changes at our request. So I don't think that the body or the Finance Committee just did as we were asked to do without question or thought.
Thank you, Ms. Keegan. Ms. Powell?
Thank you, President Kimbrough. I just want to add, I appreciate and support our new mayor. I think that she has chosen exemplary candidates for both of these positions. However, this is a lot more money, like Councilmember Keegan indicated, than was allotted in the budget. And I am concerned about going forward with this amount of money. I do think that if there was an ability to find the money in some other way, like the other bill we're discussing this evening, that I would be totally supportive of that. I think that the mayor and other offices should be able to, hire staff as they need and find the talent, as long as they find a way to fund those positions with the bottom line number in the budget. So for that reason, I will be abstaining from this vote this evening. Again, I fully support our mayor. I think she is bringing in the talent and doing a lot of good things for our city. It's just that we just don't have the money to do this. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Powell. Ms. Brody, did you want to, we'll finish up with you.
For the record, as a member of the Finance Committee, I was an active participant in the Finance Committee meetings, and I was the only no vote on this resolution leaving committee as written.
Thank you, Ms. Brody. So with that being said, we're moving on to the vote. Madam Clerk?
Adams.
No.
Anani.
Yes.
Valorant.
Yes.
Brody.
No.
Farrell.
Yes.
Flynn.
No.
Hoey.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Keegan.
Present.
Lumpkin.
Yes.
Powell.
Abstain.
Robinson.
Yes.
Williamson.
Yes.
Zamer.
Present.
9 affirmative, 3 no, 1 abstention, 2 present.
The motion passes.
Mr. President, can our attorney let us know what the difference between abstention and present is, if there is any?
There is absolutely no difference.
Okay. Can you just restate the
So it's 9
final?
affirmative, 3 no, 3 abstentions.
Okay, the motion passes, right? Thank you for that. Okay, moving right along, Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice Resolution 5/1226R and ask for its passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
A resolution of the Common Council approving a transfer of budget funds in the 2026 budget, city budget, which will affect a salary rate or salary total.
Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to speak on this because unlike the previous resolution, this resolution is actually about something that I think is doing a important function for the city. I think it's actually righting a wrong that we perpetuated for a long time. We're fortunate that we had very dynamic leaders that were leading both the Parks and Recreation Department and Workforce Development Department. But I think, as we can see with our public comment tonight, we need somebody, a leader who is just focused on workforce development, because it has to be more than what we've been doing. What we've been doing is good. I don't want to minimize anything that Commissioner Jones has done, because he's done an incredible job. But to have him be able to just focus on workforce development, it should be more than summer youth employment. It should be, we should be doing more with it. And having a leader that is just focused on that, who is able to take meetings, because he's not focusing on parks and doing the important work there. He's just able to focus on workforce development and really allow that growth in the city of Albany, because we need it. We need more jobs. We need people here doing work, and we need someone who's able to actually work through and go to the job sites, go to the businesses, do the things. And if you have a leader that is just focused on that, that's something that can happen. That can't happen when you have one person divided between two completely different offices that, honestly, the only reason that Parks and Workforce Development were put together is because the Summer Youth Employment Program is in Parks. That's like saying that, buildings is in, you should have buildings in the same thing as DG, well, that would make sense. But you see my point. Just because something is in something doesn't mean it should necessarily be different. And I think having a commissioner focused on parks, again, it allows an opportunity. We've had great things. I don't want to minimize that we haven't had great things in the past, but I think that it is an opportunity to have even better things moving forward. And I think we need it as a city. So it's something I don't look at this as a pay increase or anything like that. I look at it as righting a wrong and doing something that we actually need desperately for our city. And I would add, as somebody that does care a great deal about the budget, just to Councilmember Keegan's point, if you voted for the auditor's position where there is no plan moving forward, and that change in position actually diminished his ability to do audits, I would just question your votes in this, because it is incredibly inconsistent to vote for that and to vote against anything else. So I'm voting yes on this, and I encourage people to vote with me.
Further, Mr. Nani, and then Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to commend Majority President Pro Tem for her remarks. Again, this is an important position. I was the chair of Parks and Recreation, and I had a close look at working with Commissioner Jonathan Jones and working with the mayor's office. There was a lot that was accomplished, particularly when it comes to investments that were made in our parks, investments that were made in our public spaces. When it comes to separating these positions, it's righting the wrongs of the past and correcting, making sure that, if we care about our city staff morale, something that we preach, we support DGS staffers, we support our union workers. We want to make sure that we're supporting people in our city so they're not getting burned out and taking flight, going to another state, looking for another job. Commissioner Jonathan Jones have done a phenomenal job, but I believe it's important that these positions be separated and supported, particularly when you look at youth and workforce. When the summer hits and the temperature gets a little bit hot, we know what happens. And we have to look at these salary raises not as, as a waste, but we have to look at it as an investment in our people. Today, we're talking about being fiscally responsible and fiscal discipline. I hope that the same people who are saying that are not saying, hey, what are we going to do about the violence in the summertime? What are we going to do about the jobs? What are these kids doing in the summertime? This is an opportunity for us to put our money where our mouth is. If we support our youth, we must support this salary, because no one person should be bombarded with a two position, just try to do it by one person. So again, I urge my colleagues to really look deep, new and old, to support this legislation. It's a step in the right direction. It's an investment in our youth. And while it's cold right now, the summer is around the corner, and we need our commissioners to get to work. There are kids out there who are going to be looking for jobs, and summer youth employment is going to start next week. There should be some enrollments. So again, look at this as an investment. And again, most importantly, I support my former colleague, Jamel Robinson.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes, thank you. So just a quick history lesson. This position was eliminated when Sherry Townsend, I believe, left the city. And when the position was eliminated, a lot of services the city lost as well. And one of the services was gang prevention. And gang prevention did a lot about trying to deal with some of the same issues that we're dealing with today. So I just wanted to say that sometimes the elimination of a position is presented to a community as a savings, when this wasn't a savings at all. It put our city in a liability for many, many years. And once again, if we are going to truly address the full needs of the city, because for so long, only parts of the cities were being addressed. And as I stated before, many raises came through this chamber, and they were never questioned from the mayor's office. We didn't veto any of the raises in the 8 years that I've been in here, or the 4 years that I've watched before. So I'm always listening, and when I don't hear what actually happened, I'm going to reiterate it. So there is a need for this to be two different commissioners, because of the load of needs that fall under the purview of Parks and Recreation, as well as Youth and Family Services. Our kids are lost. They're looking for direction. And a lot of direction at one time came out of Youth and Family Services. So I will be honored to be a part of supporting restoring that position, because it's a much needed position. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Holy. Thank you, Mr. President. I was at the Finance Committee meetings. I'm not part of the Finance Committee, but I did go because I thought this was important, and I did testify. With Recreation, I worked for 8 years with Reverend Jamel Robinson. I see how he is with kids and children, and he has the capability to go out there and run this recreation program. We looked at tonight. I mean, it was a perfect example, the Basketball Hall of Fame. I don't remember the excitement in this room this is going to be my 9th year. I never remember the excitement that we had tonight. We had the mayor come up. We had, everybody here talking about Albany and basketball. And I'm sure that, by having Reverend Robinson come in, that he's going to continue that and even go further than where we've been. As far as workforce development, we talked about the summer youth employment program. My son went through that, and Jonathan Jones my son came home. He taught us this. He taught us about putting money in the bank. He taught us about how you can go out and invest in different type of financials. I mean, it went beyond just working. He really got these kids motivated. And, with the summer youth employment program, the one criticism I have about it is the amount of paperwork that you got to do year after year. And I will talk to Jonathan Jones about making it a little bit easier, that if you served last year, that paperwork shouldn't have to be all redone again. And there should be more help people filling out these forms. I had a hard time filling out some of the questionnaires and, you know, the answers and stuff. So, and this move is beyond those summer youth employment. This is workforce development. This is for not just children, this is for older adults. So this is, to me, all positive. You got to invest money to make money. You know, nobody becomes a millionaire by not doing anything. You got to put something out there in order to get a return. And if you're not getting the return, we, year by year by year, we look at the budget. And if things aren't working, that's the time to bring up and say, hey, we gave you the funding to do this. You know, what's going on? How come you're not succeeding? And that's when we can step in as a council and say, look, we got to pull back some of the funding here because it's not paying off. But I have optimism in this. I think this is the right move, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Holy. Mr. Bauer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Two things. One, I appreciate the administration finding the budget savings to eliminate a position to make it budget neutral. So I do appreciate that. I do think it's a good structural change for our city. I think it's important that we have people that are focused just one on recreation in our youth, but two on job development and workforce development. I think it's easily tied to public safety. If somebody's hungry or if somebody's poor and they have a lot of free time on their hand, poverty and time on your hands is a horrible prescription for horrible decisions to be made. So I think this is a good investment. It's a good structural change to have someone that's focused on workforce development, not just K-12, not just K-18, but that we're looking at our 24-year-olds, our 34-year-olds that need the, and our 44-year-olds that need the development and the opportunity, the foot in the door, someone that can guide them, someone that can get them their foot in the door to have those opportunities. So I'm appreciative that we're making this change. I'm appreciative for our corporation counsel for who has given up that one position to make this work. So I will be voting for this tonight.
Okay, thank you. I believe all the members that spoke. I want to recognize Mr. Robinson's recusal from both the discussion and the voting on this. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Adams.
Yes.
Anani.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Valorant.
Yes.
Brody.
No.
Farrell.
Yes.
Hoey.
Flynn is a yes.
Sorry, Flynn. Hoey.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
I'm going to start over. I'm sorry. Adams.
Yes.
Anani.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Valorant.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Brody.
No.
Farrell.
Yes.
Flynn.
Yes.
Hoey.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Johnson.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Jones.
Yes.
Keegan.
Yes.
Lumpkin.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Powell.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Robinson. Oh, excuse me. Williamson.
Yes, co-sponsors, please.
Zamer.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
13 in the affirmative.
13, the motion passes. Thank you. With that, closing out resolutions, Ms. Farrell,
The rest of the resolutions are held.
on to miscellaneous.
We have Commissioner Deeds.
Right, I was about to recognize you. Mr. Bauer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I offer the list of names, following names for Commissioner of Deeds to serve for the term that ends on December 31st, 2026, and waive the reading of the names.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Okay, we're in miscellaneous. I just want to start real quick before we all jump in and just say that we're here this long because of my management or lack of management of the time of the speakers. I promise strict enforcement moving forward, so we'll work on that. But now, Mr. Johnson.
Yes, so I want to thank the person that came and talked about the dog poop, because I've been getting a lot of concerns. And, you know, we have a lot of advocacy for dogs, but we have really no oversight. We have an ordinance, but nobody is enforcing it. And I work at Giffen, I live on Trinity, you know, through my commute to my car, that's all you see, to the left and to the right. So I had a mother come and, you know, visibly upset about it. And I was grateful for someone coming tonight and speaking. And I also want to thank Ms. Sylvia for coming, because we talked last night and she was very emotional about the subject. And I just want to say, Mayor Jennings failed us by allowing Albany Housing Authority, under the direction of Steve Longo, to utilize and present the Wade Center as a effective tool that we're supposed to get community members prepared so that they can fill those job sites. And it was myself who came on this body, and I asked many difficult questions. And so also, I believe that the MAP program that was on Morton Ave was set up for failure because it wasn't given proper funding. So many times we've had these opportunities for people to get certification, and for whatever case, it doesn't matriculate into job opportunities or the careers. Like, we get one person that may have benefited from it. And lastly, I just would like to say that Albany lost its workforce development program under Jonathan Jones' leadership. So that's something that we should be talking about, because if that also hurt our community if we're not providing that vehicle through the city. So, you know, we had some things set up, and like I said, it's the time is now, because it's a very, very valid point that people are saying that, you know, like, if you look at our corner stores, all that money that is circulating in our neighborhood is going to other countries. If you look at construction, it's going to other counties and other cities, and sometimes even other states. And for the conversation to just continue to go on, and for us to pass MWBE laws that we are never going to be in a position to take advantage of it, is just like insanity. We just perpetuating the same stuff. So I said earlier that when people come in here and they speak at public comment, it's a must that we do something, you know. And again, people don't know how much she went through last night just to put herself in position to come here and say and share what she said, what she did. And like I said, again, we have to figure out how to address these issues that have been a pain in the backside of, you know, communities. And, you know, for $200 million to be coming through, I just will hope that the expectation that they're putting on us in regards to community benefits, you know, that conversation was introduced to the community by Councilman Mark Robinson many moons ago. And, you know, I tried to follow that up, but I think when people come in here and they see the high number of minorities sitting all around this room, they're expecting us to be able to figure it out. And you know, and I'm hoping that, you know, she didn't leave feeling like it was just words that she shared with us, and us not having a path to really address it. So again, I want to thank her, and I want to thank the young lady over here to Borough that is also putting truth to power to the people that are without housing at the moment. That list is growing larger each day, and they are coming to being homeless due to many different reasons. So I hope that we figure this stuff out, because dog poop may not be a lot to you, but when you just constantly seeing it, it's just not a good feeling. So thank you.
Ms. Keegan and then Mr. Robinson.
I just have two sort of points of clarification. With regards to the MAP program, the MAP program is a state-funded program. That program failed because of the choice in hiring the individual who was running that program. They pulled an individual who was not from the capital region, had no relationships with the capital region, and no relationship to the community. It was very successful running a similar program in Rochester, but was not the right fit for the MAP program here. And that was funded through state workforce development, not our local workforce development funds. And secondly, when we talk about and we pass legislation related to MWBEs, that is specific to city contracts and only those projects that are contracted by the city of Albany. It does not extend to anything that's receiving a tax abatement program through Capitalize Albany. Anybody who's familiar with Capitalize Albany, you can get the enhanced community benefit by participating in an apprentice program. Very few developers go for that. I don't think we have any developers that have gone for the above and beyond community enhanced abatement programs. But we as the city do not control what private developers utilize in terms of construction firms. That's not how those tax abatements work. We only have control over those projects that we directly bid. We also have no control over Albany Housing Authority because they are federal, and they make their own decisions about contracting.
Mr. Robinson and then Mr. Hoey.
Yes, I just want to thank council leadership, right, for allowing the constituency to continue to come, and even after it was time out, to allow them to speak their concerns, because it takes a lot for somebody to come down here after work and sit for hours just to have their voice be heard, to say, okay, you know what I'm saying, time is up, now you can't speak to after the, you know what I'm saying? I just think that was, is nothing to be upset about, nothing to feel that you did anything wrong, because in my eyes, you did everything right, because our constituency come first. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hoey.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. As far as the dog poop, I agree. It's a serious problem. It's actually a public safety nuisance. It can carry disease. There's a lot of problems with it. And I know there's fines associated if you don't pick up after your dog. So I will contact the chief. I'll try to find out, because animal control falls under him. I'll try to find out if that's maybe the way we can go. And Jack, I know going to the golf course in the wintertime, there's dog poop all over the place, or it used to be. Is it still? Okay. So maybe we need to start looking at that. We're talking about revenue. There might be a lot of revenue there. And do people have licenses for the animals, for the dogs that they're supposed to have? Stuff like that. So I will talk to the chief. Megan, you kind of answered my question. I was wondering, could we put something on the IDA where if you do get a tax break, that you must have so many local people working? But what I'm hearing you say is no, but is that something?
That would be a Darius question. The IDA can review how it assesses tax abatements periodically. I don't believe that they've updated those rules. But for anybody that sat through the training, there is they get a certain amount of points for having a certain amount of things. And then they can get an enhanced abatement by doing these community benefit programs, one of which is the apprenticeship program, one of which is affordable housing set-asides in a particular project. They never do those. So
can we force them to if they're a city IDA?
I would ask Darius.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Council President. I will have to disagree on that because any council member can put forth legislation, right, demanding a community benefits agreement. If the developers adhere to it, that's one thing. But that's what this body is for. We are a legislative body, and there's no way that you can say that we can put legislation together demanding that even if it's at a tier 2, tier 3 development, that the developers must come into the communities. I agree with you that we can't find ourselves involved in the conversations with the community and the developers, but we can. That does not stop us from putting legislation forward. You know what I'm saying? Demanding community benefits agreements.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. Ms. Farrell?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
You what?